Once again, we are back to our studies. Dear 10thers, time is not stopping for us, it is going ahead. And today we will be discussing yet another new chapter, chapter 5, and the topic is water resources. There is a saying in Hindi, Jal hi Jeevan. In other words, life is possible on earth because of the presence of water. We are all aware that about 70% of the earth is water covered. All the bodies, plants, animals, human beings contain water. So water is essential for our life, for the life on earth, for plants, animals, human beings as well. Now there are two sources of water. One is natural, the other one is man-made. The natural water resources are the rainwater, the oceans, the seas, the rivers, the lakes, streams, springs. These are the sources of natural water. Man-made resources are the dams, the wells, the hand pumps, canals, tube wells. These are the sources of the man-made resources. Now, man-made resources means man cannot make rain or water. They can only reserve water by these artificial devices. Now, our main source of water on earth is the rainwater. Now, rainwater, when the rain falls, the rainwater gets stored in two ways. It is on the surface, that's called surface water, and when the rainwater percolates, sinks deep into the surface, that's known as the underground water. Surface water, the water present on the surface in the form of oceans, rivers, lakes, ponds and streams. And underground water, water present beneath the surface of the earth, is called the underground water. Now this water, it is being used, rather sometimes abused, whatever, is so much that there is a scarcity of water all through the world. India too is facing a real crisis. The use of water has increased remarkably, and yet we don't have sufficient amount of good water that can be used for our purpose. It is in this context we will discuss elaborately in this chapter that there is a need to conserve water. So you should be aware why there is a scarcity of water. So to know that, let us be aware of various uses of water, and thereby we will derive the concept as to the need to conserve water. The most prior thing in the world is for us, for animals, plants and as human beings, that we need water to drink. So without fresh water, we will die. Water is a basic necessity for sustenance of life for us to live. The second was, we need water to cook our food. We human beings, water is a basic part of cooking food and is required for cooking majority of the dishes. We need water to grow food and crops. We need large amount of water for the growth of crops, which is the basic need for providing us with food we need to live. Everybody needs water, not just human being or animals, plants. In fact, all type of animals, not only we human beings require water, but everybody does. The plants, the animals, everyone. We need water to stay clean ourselves. You can see water is required to take bath and wash ourselves every day. Without water, and especially now when you're in the lockdown situation, how many times you are coming and washing your hands, perhaps taking bath if you go out when you come back. So we are using excessive amount of water, sometimes for our need, sometimes even purposelessly whatsoever. Without this water, we won't be able to take showers or bath or stay clean or feel hygienic. Water is required for every task we need to do in the bathroom. Now, saving water saves money. How? Dear children, you may not be aware that nowadays water is bought. We pay for water. The lesser the amount of water we use, the lesser the water company charges us. Even the water you think that government is supplying, but government is somewhere rather taking the tax from us. And in many cities, in Pune, Bombay, Kolkata, the water has got even the capacity to measure. That means the amount of water you use, you have to pay tax or pay for it. There is a meter. There is a meter, like electric meter is there. There is a water meter is also there. How much water is coming to your reservoir, and according to meter you have to pay for water. To save money ultimately goes into the pockets as savings. We need water to wash everything, starting from our dishes, our clothes, our houses, our buildings. Water is required to clean almost everything. We need water to clean our utensils, our clothes, our table, our floor, whatnot, everything. Water is required to maintain sewage system. None of us we are bothered about this. But remember, all the dirt from the cities and the towns and even from our domestic uses, if they don't go out of our house, it will be stinking everywhere. So lots of water is needed. It is an essential component in draining waste from various domestic uses, factories, dirts of the cities and towns. We can't imagine about the drainage or sewage system without water. Water is directly linked to energy. Water and energy are inextricably linked. How? A considerable amount of energy is required to bringing safe drinking water to our taps. Suppose you have got lots of water near a river or a tank or a lake or a dam nearby you, but we never use that water directly. We have to treat them. And to treat, a lot of machines and treatment facilities are used to create safe drinking water for us. A glass of water for us, it may be just a glass of water, but to prepare the glass of water, it may has gone to so many steps and under so much of treatment facilities, using machines, using so many other things. So on the other hand, water can also be used to produce clean energy called hydroelectricity. So both ways, if we save water, we can produce energy for our future generation. We need water for our recreational purposes. Who can deny the water Disney? You heard about that? Nowadays, we need a lot of water for many of our recreational purposes. Okay. So nowadays, a lot of water parks, swimming pools are being built, and we all need water for running those rides, and hence water becomes an important part and partial even in our recreational life. So therefore, there is a need to conserve water. Means save water. Save water. Use water sparingly. Means use only and only as much as we need. Why? Because the over exploitation of underground water, that lowers the water table. In India, we have Ganga, Yamuna and many others are perennial rivers. However, their glaciers are melting at a very high rate. So soon those glaciers will come to an end. There will be no water supply. There is an estimation that within 25 to 50 years, our Ganga and Yamuna will have high water crisis problem. So much so, there is a saying, there is a fear that there will not be any more perennial rivers. India has a seasonal rainfall which is neither evenly distributed nor it occurs regularly. Some year it may have too much rainfall, some year there may be no rainfall at all, drought. Or some places of India may have rainfall, some places may not have rainfall. So our main source of water in India is rainfall. We cannot produce water in our laboratory or factory. It is natural. So we have to respect and save our nature, save our rain or water. India is overpopulated. Can you deny it? Now to supply the water for this, due to this, the rate of agriculture is increasing too. For this excessive agricultural practices, irrigation is also being done to meet the need. So there is a heavy demand for water for irrigation. Being a developing country, India is developing. It is not an advanced or developed country. It is developing in the process. So there are many industries in India are also alarmingly increasing. Industries use a huge amount of water. You know it very well. Sufficient amount of afforestation is also needed to maintain the hydrological and hydrological cycle and ecological balance. And to keep this afforestation, we require huge amount of water. So ultimately, for all these reasons, we need to conserve water. Now, in this chapter, we have discussed elaborately a method called rainwater harvesting. Now, rainwater harvesting is a method in which we preserve, we save our rainwater. How? Let us go a little bit defining it. What is rainwater harvesting? Now, rainwater harvesting is a technique of collection and storage of rainwater. Mind these words: collection and storage of rainwater into natural reservoirs or tanks. In other words, it is the process of collecting rainwater from surfaces on which rain falls, filtering it and storing it for multiple uses later in future. Rainwater harvesting puts the supply of water back to normal levels. It is the collection and storage of water from surfaces that rain has fallen upon already. Now, reasons for using rainwater harvesting systems. We have to have three questions in our mind. Three questions: what, who, how. What? It is the rainwater harvesting will improve water supply, food production, and ultimately food security. Who? Water insecure households and individuals in rural areas will benefit the most from rainwater harvesting systems. How? Since rainwater harvesting leads to water supply, which leads to food security, this will greatly contribute to income generation too. Here you have got, can you see these two pics? Rainwater falling on the roof and through the pipe that are being collected in a barrel. And this is a picture you can see mostly found in Rajasthan and area. The rainwater is almost looking like a johad. We will discuss in this chapter, in this session itself. The water is being stored in a big house underground. It's called johad. Now, benefits. What are the benefits of rainwater harvesting? First of all, rainwater is a relatively clean, absolutely free source of water. No machinery, no treatment. It is almost clean water because rain is pure. You have total control over your water supply. That means you know how much water you are storing, not depending on speculations. It is socially acceptable and environmentally responsible. Rainwater harvesting promotes self-sufficiency and helps to conserve water. Rainwater is better for landscape plants and gardens because it is not chlorinated. Remember, our drinking water which is supplied by the corporations or by government is chlorinated, treated. It reduces storm water runoff from homes and businesses. It can solve the drainage problems on your property while providing you with free water. Yes, we don't have to buy rainwater, it's free. It uses simple technologies that are inexpensive and easy to maintain. Remember, when we use the river water, ocean water for our uh, drinking and other domestic uses, we have to use lots of technologies and lots of money and machines and treatment policies have to be done. It can provide an excellent backup source of water for emergencies. Is a reservoir, is a storage. This system is very flexible that allows you for expansion, reconfiguration, or recall relocation if necessary. You can change easily. If one particular place is not flexible, not properly is fit to use the rainwater harvesting, then you can go to some other place. It can reduce erosion and flooding around buildings. So there is multiple benefits are there for rainwater harvesting. Now some of the methods that let us talk about the rainwater harvesting. One is just install a barrel. See the picture. In fact, this here, the rain is falling on your rooftop, and from the rooftop it is with a pipe, the ultimate collection of water is being dropped, and you see there is a cloth or filter on the top of it, and it is getting filtered in this barrel. This is called install a rain barrel. So the easiest way to harvest rain is through a rain barrel linked to a pipe fitted to collect rainwater from the rooftop and veranda of the house. Now there is creating a rain garden. That means in the garden itself you have got a pit, and all the water of, if you have got a house with a little bit of land around it, there's lots of water. Have you seen your school? Around your school building you have got so much of land, and all this surface water goes to our field, and after the heavy rainfall our field becomes a ocean like big one. So similarly, all this water that drains out through small streams and channels to the lower level, let them not go. Let them block it, and let there be a small pit in the garden, store it, and there create a rain garden. Water will be supplied from your rainwater. So a rain garden is a sunken landscape that uses native plants, local soil, and mulch to remove pollutants from water. Mulch is to cover in such a way that water evaporation does not take so much, and this kind of rain garden allows it to percolate into the garden. The water has to percolate. We use the word percolate means sink, go into the water, sip into the water ground, due to which the water table will go up. Then called rooftop rainwater harvesting. Can you see here in the pic, these roof can be made up of asbestos, of tin, it can be of tiles, it can be concrete, but ultimately it will be arranged in such a way that the water that drains out directly from there, it will not. It will be fitted in such a way that through pipe it will come down to a reservoir called tank or whatever you call. So rooftop rainwater harvesting is the technique nowadays is very popular, through which rainwater is collected from the roof catchments and stored in reservoirs. The main objective of rooftop rainwater harvesting is to make water available for future use. Capturing and storing rainwater for use is particularly important in dry land, hilly, urban, and coastal area. Rainwater harvesting pit. Now this is very interesting. I would say why it is interesting. You should be proud of it because our school is practicing this. Now, the drainage water from the rooftop or the groundwater that normally drains down can be directed to pits. Can you see the pit here? Can you see the pit here? So the rainwater can be, see, from these holes, the rainwater is getting in, and there are stone chips and the kind of bigger stones are there through which the water percolates. See this building. See this building. For all this building, rainwater is coming down through the pipe. Can you see? And around this building, there are drainage system. Through all this piping drainage system, the water is coming. Another pit is being made here, which is covered here. Another pit is made, and all this rainwater is getting into. And through this pit, the water is percolating, seeping into the ground. So this is a drainage water from the rooftop of the groundwater that normally drains down can be directed to pits which will allow the water to percolate and increase the water table. That's the point to be noted. Increase the water table of that location. In our school, we have 4 such pits. Now it's a task given to you. When the school will reopen, hope one day it will open, and we'll all come back. So when the school will reopen, when you come back to school, find them out, where are they, and let me know. There are 4 such rainwater harvesting pit located. It is made in your school through which there is water harvesting is being practiced. And with this, dear children, we come to another very big natural way of water harvesting is called Juhad. It is mostly done in Rajasthan and Haryana. Now what is Juhad? Juhad is a rainwater storage tank principally used in the states of Haryana and Rajasthan. In Juhad, the traditional methods of capturing monsoon rains are used to supply water throughout the year. These are the low-budget earthen check dams made to improve percolation and recharge water table. The Juhads not only provide surface water for drinking and irrigation, but also recharge dry wells as water seeps into the ground. So ultimately, the water, these words are coming again and again. The water seeps, the water percolates, the water gets or sinks into the ground, and that's how the water table goes high or remain intact. Now these same juhads are popularly known as tankies or tanks in most parts of the country. This term juhad was first used extensively by an NGO, Tarun Bharat Sangh, by Rajendra Singh, which led to revival of Alwar district of Rajasthan. It is we should be happy that today there are more than 4,500 working juhads in Alwar alone and surrounding districts. Now, dear children of 10th, with this we come to the end of today's session, and keep studying, dear children. If you think that since school is not going on and you can take your studies lightly, okay, politely I tell you, that may not be good practice. You are already in standard 10. The show must go on, and whether the school is on or not, you study, because next year you have to appear for your final board exam. So it's better, don't waste time, prepare yourself from now itself. Wish you all the best.